Okay, the more I listen to these biographical, deep Drake songs, the more I dislike them. It just comes down to how much you really care about Drake's personal life. It's like, oh, this is my life. I've been doing this, going to clubs, going to parties, going to my bitch's house.
Yeah, say that you a lesbian, girl, me too.
So Drake just released his latest album, Certified Boy Lover, and as usual on Korean Einstein Studios, we're going to be going over every track, tier list style. Let's be real here, Drake hasn't released a good project since, if you're reading this, it's too late, but ever since then, it's been a downhill struggle, with each album getting more bloated and uninteresting and boring. Drake focusing more on racking up his streams instead of actually putting out good music. I mean, I respect the hustle, but the songs still suck. It's not all bad. There's a few hits here and there that are pretty fun, like Hotline Bling, like Nice for What, like Crazy Slide. Anyways, yo, Certified Lover Boy, Boy Lover, Lover, Boy Lover, tier list. Ba-bam! First track, we got Champagne Poetry. I actually love this song. The sample is heavenly. It's his best intro since Tuscan Leather. I personally prefer Tuscan Leather a bit more. I just feel like the sample, the chipmunk sample, just fits more on that song. But still, I'm giving this one an S tier. Next, we get Pappy's Home. I love the confident energy from Drake. I mean, sure, there is a goofy tone to it with all the Daddy's Home. Daddy's home. However, it does sound good. It doesn't like destroy the tone of the album. I like it. I'm gonna give it a B tier. Next, we got Girls Want Girls. Working on the weekend like usual. These trap hi-hats, man, are we turning up the stove here? The hook on the song is super weak, but I do, like, ironically love the lyrics on here. Lil Baby's feature is decent. I'm gonna give this one C tier. In the Bible, Drake doing his best Lil Wayne impression on the chorus, but yeah, the hook is terrible. Drake's nasally and lifeless singing does nothing for me, and I was praying with both my hands that Giveon would salvage this track at least a little bit, and thank God he does. Overall, I'm gonna give it a C tier. Next, we got Love All. Actually, I do like the Jay-Z verse, and I kind of like the low-key vibe, but I'm never gonna listen to this song ever again, so C tier. Next, we got Fair Trade. I call this a maturity banger. Drake and Travis both go hard with great flows and pretty good lyrics. I love how Travis switches up his flow on this verse, and Drake does a pretty good job too. A tier. Then we get Way Too Sexy, and this is ridiculous. It's a fun song for sure, but it's so goofy with Future and Young Thug. I'm gonna give it a B tier. Then we get a TSU. The way that Drake frames the story about this random stripper is so corny and not in the good way. Like, yeah, I get the point. There is a story, there is a concept and idea behind the song, but again, the way he tells the story is so shallow and surface level. It's really bad. I'm gonna give it the fattest D tier. And Too Deep has some great ideas. The beat isn't half bad, but Drake always finds some way to ruin it. Like, the hook on this song is so awful. He just drains the energy out of his own song. Even Future, who usually sounds like a dying animal when he raps, like, even he brings way more charisma and energy to this song than Drake. Yeah, C tier. Pipe Down is next up here, and yeah, it's decent. The production sounds nice. Has that chipmunk vocal instrumental that Drake just loves to use and abuse. I don't know about the lyrics on this one though. While it is enjoyable, it's extremely forgettable among the sea of mediocrity on this album. Still, I'll give it a B tier. Next, we got Yebba's Heartbreak. I do love the singing on here, but it doesn't fit with the tone of the album at all. I'll give it B tier. No Friends in the Industry is pretty solid. It's a fun banger. One of the only songs on this album that I love and can bounce to. I'll give it an A tier. Knife Talk is a weak track. Why is this even on Drake's album? It sounds like it should be on a 21 album. It just doesn't fit, in my opinion. I'll give it a C tier. 7 a.m. on Bridal Path. Honestly, I'm not too invested in the whole Kanye versus Drake beef. So the fact that Drake goes into it this deep without much bravado or any changes in the beats isn't that interesting to me. So I'm gonna give it a C tier. Race My Mind is a weird track. Drake's singing is pretty solid, but who the keeps playing that distracting harp every 10 seconds. Also, the production is so overblown too. The mixing is terrible. I'm gonna give it a C tier. Next, we got Fountains. This is the most filler track I've heard all year. There's nothing I can latch onto that's enjoyable or fun. Even as a slower R&B song, it's so weak. I'm giving it a D tier because despite it being terrible and boring and just the most uninteresting song on the album. There is one track that is even worse. Then we get Along Better. Maybe it's just me, but I can't take Drake seriously as an R&B artist anymore. He's trying to be all sensual and serious on the song. Like, how can you have songs like Girls Want Girls and Way Too Sexy that are so wacky and just incredibly stupid, and then try to be all like serious and seductive? I don't know, maybe it's just me because I do like how the song sounds, but I just can't get into it. I gotta give it a C tier. However, You Only Live Twice is one of the major highlights on the album, with Rick Ross and Lil Wayne going absolutely insane. I mean, Drake does okay, like he's decent, but like compared to Lil Wayne and Rick Ross, like you gotta step it up, Drake. Still though, A tier. It's a really fun song. Next we get IMY2. Kid Cudi is phenomenal. However, Drake again, he just drains the energy from his own song. I want to give it a B tier just for Cudi. We get the worst song on the album. It's actual trash. It's called Fans. I am losing my sanity listening to this god-awful auto-tune ballad where Drake rambles on for 4 minutes about how he regrets his fans. That's the whole song, alright? The singing on here is laughably bad. It's amusing, but also very embarrassing for Drake. After a grueling, disturbing, and incredibly lifeless, boring track list, we're finally here at the finish line with the remorse. You can just hear my voice how exhausted I am from this album. Okay, the more I listen to these biographical, deep Drake songs, the more I dislike them. It just comes down to how much you really care about Drake's personal life. It's like, oh, this is my life. I've been doing this, going to clubs, going to parties, going to my bitch's house. And it's like the same beat for like 7 minutes. There's no switch up. I'm gonna skip it every time, except for 6 p.m. in New York. That song actually sounds phenomenal. Anyways, that's Certified Boy Lover. Please like, comment, subscribe for more juicy tier lists. And yeah, peace out.
Yeah, niggas know they need to stop. I'm standing at the top, that's how I know you never seen the top.